I'm a lieutenant here with DPS in the South Texas region. Right now we're in Mission, Texas, right along the border. As you can see behind me, we're right along the Rio Grande River. This is a very highly active area. And what I mean by that is the people that are crossing this particular area are people that are trying to evade capture. They're not your typical asylum seekers or families. These are individuals that are trying to evade capture, trying to avoid law enforcement. And then you take into account the unknown gotaways, those individuals that don't set off any cameras, any sensors. So that's always a concern. But the threats here, when you don't know who's entering the country, when there's evidence that there's been people apprehended that were on the terror watch list or criminal gang members, cartel members, people that were wanted for violent crimes, they've been apprehended. That only tells you one thing, that more of those individuals are in the country right now. They've been in the country right now from the very beginning. In 3 years, we've been doing this, we've been experiencing this. The threat's already here, and that's what's concerning. And it's just shocking that it took almost 3 years now for them to actually admit that. So we have a great relationship working with Border Patrol. We're out here pretty much every single day working with them, trying to apprehend these individuals, because again, if we're not out here doing this type of work, these are individuals that will make it further into the interior, which are known as gotaways. So we're trying to prevent that, trying to apprehend these individuals to see who they are and what their intentions are, trying to make it into the country. This park has always been historically known for just family gatherings. I mean, people would gather here on the weekends, barbecue, but now ever since this whole border crisis, it's been shut down. First off, during COVID, a lot of the illegal immigrants that were coming across in this particular area here, they were now being secured or housed in this park. That's why the park was shut down, so they can house illegal immigrants that had COVID. Because of that, it does impact the communities now, because now no one can no longer access this area, as you can see here. So it's been an impact on some of the communities here because of that. I've been with DPS since 2007. We've always had some type of involvement with border operations, even in 2014. But I think now with this current situation, we are more heavily involved now as a state agency. I mean, we're doing so much right now. I mean, we're working along the river, working in the brush with Border Patrol agents. We're apprehending illegal immigrants, charging them with state crimes. We're building our own Texas border wall, something that we've never done before as far as infrastructure. Our marine barrier that we have in Eagle Pass, the first ever to have a marine barrier in the middle of the river. Infrastructure along the river with concertina wire, working with National Guard soldiers. So now we're more heavily involved with the current border situation because of the influx of people that are coming across. And plus, with that, you do have criminal activity that's going to be associated with that. For the general public to understand what's really happening, of course, you see all the images, you see the video in some of the media outlets where they show large groups coming across by the hundreds, families, children. The difference we're seeing here, and of course, even across the border from Texas to Arizona, is those gotaways. Why do these individuals go to that extent to evade capture? Why they're paying these criminal smugglers in Mexico to evade capture? They're wearing camouflage clothing, some wear carpet on their shoes to avoid leaving shoe tracks. Why go to that extent to avoid capture? And that's why it's concerning, not only as a public safety aspect, but a national security aspect of it, because now, what is the intentions of these individuals trying to evade capture? And you don't know. You won't know until you actually apprehend them and do proper vetting. Some of these individuals that we've apprehended at the state level, some are gang members from other countries, MS-13, some have violent criminal backgrounds. And that's why it's so important to be at the river, to have the manpower, to allow Border Patrol agents to do their job, also to get them away from processing so they can focus on that criminal activity, so we can apprehend these individuals that want to cause harm in our communities, also into the country as they make it further into the interior. Every state is a border state. This impacts every single state in this country right now. Not just the people that are coming across the border, because obviously they're not going to stay in Texas. They want to go to some of these other states, especially some of these sanctuary cities where they can get all the benefits. And that's why we continue seeing this influx of illegal immigration, because they are incentivized, they are rewarded for crossing the border illegally. And also with that, you have the criminal activity, the drugs that are coming across, fentanyl that's being mass produced right now by the Mexican drug cartels, that's killing Americans by the thousands every single year. That is impacting every single state in this country right now. Those are the real threats that we're facing right now. And that's why I think right now America needs to wake up, because these are threats that are impacting them as well. This current border situation right now is much broader than just immigration, much broader than people just coming across, for economic reasons or seeking a better life in the United States. Because with that, associated with that, you do have criminal activity. You have those bad actors, those criminal organizations in Mexico that are exploiting the current border situation. Every single person that crosses that river, whether they're seeking asylum or not, they're paying a fee to these criminal organizations. So with that, they're allowing these organizations to become even more emboldened. They're enriching themselves by making billions of dollars of profits off of illegal immigration. If you stop illegal immigration between ports of entry, then you can stop human smuggling. You can stop the fact that children are being smuggled across the border as well, and in some cases are being used sex trafficked or labor trafficked because of the current situation. So the fact that we have this border crisis right now has created so much more issues across the border at a much larger spectrum that we're seeing right now. That's what we're experiencing. That's why every state is a border state, and that's why there's much more to what the American people see every single day on TV. That's the reality of the situation right now. The border is unsecured. When you have thousands that are coming across between ports of entry, criminals as well as drugs, the border is unsecured. And to say that the border is secured or to say that we have operational control as a country, well, that's incorrect. We do not, because if that was the case, then we would not be seeing this influx of illegal immigration. And with that, you do have those suspected terrorists that do want to cause harm to this country. And the fact that there's already been so many by the hundreds that have been apprehended at the border, and then you look at the 1.8 million known gotaways, that only tells you one thing, that there's more of these threats in the country right now that are undetected, that we have no idea where they're at or what their intentions are. And those are the real threats. And I think that's what we need to be concerned about, is at some point, unfortunately, there's going to be some type of attack. And it shouldn't get to that point for us to actually wake up and do something about the situation. We should be doing something right now at the federal level to stop the current situation that we're seeing right now. A lot of these illegal immigrants that are coming across, women and children, they are being exploited. They are being victimized. There's nothing false about those allegations or those stories or those events. That's real life. These immigrants are facing those type of situations because you have to keep in mind, they're paying a fee to these criminals in Mexico, these violent criminals. And all they care about is a profit. They don't care about what happens to them. They don't care if they lose their life. And that's why they take full advantage of that. And those are situations that are real life, that are happening at the border, especially with children. You look at the number of unaccompanied children by the thousands that are left at the riverbank by these criminals, or they're brought across the river, and then they're being smuggled in cars. Our state troopers in the last 2.5 years with Operation Lone Star have rescued over 900 children from human smuggling events. So think about that. If our troopers weren't stopping these cars or rescuing these children, where would these children end up? These are unaccompanied children, mind you. These are not children with families, and they're making it further into the interior of the states. That's where you see that sex trafficking, labor trafficking. That is a clear reality of the current border situation. And many people that are open border advocates or pro-immigration advocates, they don't want to acknowledge that or face that, but they're quick to criticize law enforcement for doing their job and trying to prevent some of these issues. But that is a clear reality of the situation, that these illegal immigrants that are coming across are being victimized by these criminals. Right now, what really lifts us as a state is that we have great leadership in Texas, from the governor, all the way down to our legislatures, everyone involved. But what really helps us, and I think what motivates our troopers, is having the support from the communities, the state of Texas. That what really motivates us. Right now, Border Patrol, they're facing some challenges. They're not getting the support they need from their leadership. So all the support that we can get right now from our communities in the state of Texas is very beneficial to our state troopers and helps them and drives them more to be committed to serve this state and protect them as well.